dear.
She like runs and she slides on her knees and she's like,
Jazz
superstar.
hands.
Jazz
hands.
like grabs the rope from Gore and like tie ropes and like kind of like pushes it to her like, and then like points at Gore, points at the rope.
As you're still like in the superstar position, you just walk over, tie the rope around your waist.
So yeah.
Problem.
We're
you
start
t-
walking with the skeletons.
And
I am.
You guys start walking with the skeletons.
I'll actually like weekend at Bernie's with the skeletons, just kind of like enjoying the music.
He smacks you in
I'm
the
totally
side.
just like.
He's not do that like.
Did you just weekend at Bernie's? Did
Yeah,
you just weekend at Bernie's? Oh,
I'm totally.
Oh.
Yep. That's happening.
Oh man, I thought we weren't allowed to make Bernie jokes anymore. It's 2017. We lost. Sorry, Will. Oh. All right. So you guys continue making your way over to where it is that you need to go. Following those skeletons and following the skeletons and following the skeletons and following the skeletons. I'm dropping the wrong map consistently. Hold on. I'll find out the correct map eventually.
DM sucks.
Oh, Jesus. I just went back to the same map I was on 2 seconds ago. Which was also the wrong map. All right.
Ollie's like, I remember dancing and I didn't like it.
He's referring to your high school prom, Ollie. Sorry.
Joke's on you. I didn't go to prom.
I was gonna say your secondary school social gathering or whatever.
I
tea
claimed
party.
in stream today. I actually did have a high school system, unlike most of the UK.
Oh,
So
really?
Fuck you and your prejudice.
Nice.
Was there crumpets served?
What was that?
Were crumpets served at your?
Time limit, skeletons.
I'm doing it right now.
Follow. No, I'm trying to get Will to shut up.
Oh.
He's calling me time clock.
There you go. Okay, so and you follow them into this this old graveyard that you see right here. I'm going to continue enhancing that in 2 seconds. You follow them into this old graveyard that you see right here. That is it looks like a broken down old building inside of it. Like the place looks creepy as hell. Give me 1 second and bam. And the skeletons are continuing to dance their way into the graveyard and continue to do so actually over towards this sarcophagus looking thing that's over here. And
that's nice.
They continue to do so, dancing and dancing and dancing its way over towards the sarcophagus looking thing. There's also a church that seems to be intact, at least mostly intact, but they're all dancing towards the sarcophagus.
So is Lumen still dancing or no?
Lumen is very much still dancing.
I'll slap Lumen at this point.
Okay, hold on. Ollie, do me a favor. Make me a perception check.
All right, that's enough dancing for me.
Okay.
Okay, nothing.
Nines
so you,
all around.
You slap.
It is the night time.
You slap Lumen.
Yeah.
Aaron, you're able to make me another save.
Wisdom save, by the way. He might left that point out.
I think she
typically does.
I think she knows the save.
I do.
I think she's wise. Oh man.
Was it?
I am wise.
With advantage?
Doesn't help me.
Like
No.
With Ollie's?
No.
No.
Oh damn.
Oh no, my apologies. It is advantage like with Ollie, because that's what happened last time, right? Is you smacked him and he got advantage on the save, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
So that is what she gets. I'm so sorry, Aaron. So please roll with advantage.
No. There we go.
Hey!
So all of a sudden you come to, and much like what I just described to you a little bit ago when this happened to Ollie, just kind of like everything coming over you.
Yeah.
You've been dancing for a couple of hours, not anywhere near as long as what Ollie was, and it's the only reason why it was a couple of hours because it took you a while to get here. Roll me a Constitution save, but unlike Ollie where it was 2 or 1, this is 1 or none.
One and done.
Save or suck. Sadly, oh no, actually no, 10's fine. 10's fine. You make your Constitution save, and you are not. You have no levels of exhaustion. So your character comes out. You're out of breath. You're tired or whatever. And then after kind of like all those emotions and everything go away, you start to remember exactly what happened while you were dancing, including Vicaral's part in this.
All right.
I smile at her. I'm just like,
Solve the problem.
yeah, we have to solve the problem. I solved the problem. Yeah.
Nighttime.
We get it, bird.
Lumen just kind of like glowers, like just obviously upset the situation.
solve the
Not
problem.
saying anything.
Sadly, Lumen and Peck are having a hard time seeing anything around them because it's
Yeah.
so goddamn dark.
I would have
But you
lit
can
my
hear the
little
music
candle
is
thing,
loud
but-
and nearby. I'm sorry, Ollie. You can hear the music is loud and nearby, and you can hear the shuffling of steps. Once again, if you guys look at the Twitch, you can actually see it. But in the meanwhile, you see very, very little. And just so that viewers understand, literally the area that Lumen can see is barely more than what this bubble right here. Oh, you can't even see that. Sorry,
I was gonna say, in Twitch you can't see the map at all.
I just
That's all you
realized
can
that.
see.
That's sad. Anyway, I would have lit a little
Barely
bit
more
of
what this
fire
is.
on the end of my staff, which gives 10 feet light. I think candlelight is.
10 light, 10 dim.
Yeah,
Is that what you're doing? 10 light.
10 light, 10 dim.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just for me, Lumen, but like I probably would have done that a while ago, actually.
Okay, nope, that's fine. Give me 2 seconds.
I'm gonna
And
separate
10
myself
dim,
from him at this
and
point.
all players
Yeah.
can see. Bam. So that gets a bit easier for you guys to actually see what is
We
going
can
on.
at least like walk without falling over now.
Yeah. Okay. And you guys are able to make your way forward, where once again the skeletons are just dancing more and more into this this mausoleum-looking thing. So you guys make your way closer.
I mean, I guess we would be, wouldn't we?
Yeah. I would separate from if they're going
I'm
closer. I would
gonna-
just stay behind.
try
Peck
and
would be trying to
sneaky
stay
about
behind
it.
bloody Gore, honestly.
Whoa.
Like he would be like nudging him, like go forward. He wouldn't say it, just like
Not bad.
Why do I have light around me?
You don't. It's around Ollie's
okay.
character. Yeah. Okay, so as you guys are making your way forward,
I'm pretty sure I do too.
to see where the mausoleum is. As you guys are making your way forward, they're going into the mausoleum. You guys continue following them as they are making their way more and more and more into the mausoleum. And so, like, the crowd of them is getting smaller and smaller as they're packing themselves into this this mausoleum. And it does not look very large, but yet they're continuing to kind of like make their way into it. Do you
Go
guys
investigate that.
You guys go and check it out as well?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out.
Who's the first one to go into it?
I guess I'll go first if no one else wants to.
you can see and you're quiet.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's fine with me.
I am not quiet, but I can see.
I'll go first, and I will do it stealthily.
I'll
Okay.
follow behind.
And Peck will just.
I'm
Stay
at the
behind
moment
me.
just waiting. Yeah, because then you know where we are. You can run to us if there's zombies or something.
If there's
His logic.
zombies.
So you guys are you make your way over to the gate, and this is just Vickrell, right?
She's behind me. Lumen is
Lumen's
behind
behind
me.
you. Okay. And Vickrell, go ahead, make your way all the way up to it. And are you going to go inside to actually check it out? Because there are no windows, only a door.
Yeah.
Okay. So hold on 2 seconds. I will transport you there.
Transportation.
So you go into the thing, and inside of here, what you see is that this tiny ass motherfucking mausoleum are a fuck ton of skeletons. As a matter of fact, the inside there's only a 15 by 15, as you can see, right? But the middle square is kind of like we'll explain that in 1 second. Despite the fact that the area is only 15 by 15, making 9 squares with only 8 of them being usable for moving around, you're taking up one of them. You have like over a score of skeletons and growing, taking up even more. And the problem is, like, where you're standing, you're very easily going to start bumping into them because they're really fucking packed in here. But what the skeletons are doing is inside this place, as you go walking in and peeking in to look, is you see that there's a huge gate that is put inside this this mausoleum, a huge stone gate. Make me a perception check really quickly, and then I'll continue describing.
Ha!
You just see a large gate comprised of a dark stone with sigils on it, and the skeletons are dancing their way through the gate. After they dance their way through the gate, once they get to the other side, they kind of like stop dancing and just like hang still for a moment until the next one dances through, and then they kind of like stand and step off to the side, and they all kind of like start filing up off to the side and staying perfectly still. And the way that they're packing in and staying very still would very much remind you of, like, say, a B-1 battle droid, how they rack up and go into their transportation ships. They are very tightly packed and very still off to the side inside this area. Again, once one goes through, the next one goes through, the next one goes through, and so on.
I'm just gonna lean back to Lupin because she's behind me.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say, I think we have to go in. You should probably go in there.
No!
That's literally what I said. That's exactly.
No!
Aaron, do you look into the doorway to see what he's talking about?
Yeah.
So, Aaron, when you
Yeah.
look into the doorway, what you see isn't a black stone gate with sigils on it and skeletons dancing through it. What you see is the thing that was calling you just moments beforehand. And now that you lay your eyes upon it, it is whispering to you again, heavily,
And I'm telling you,
and
you should go through.
Yep.
grabbing at your mind and pulling you forward. You have advantage on the save because you've already made it once before, but you must make one more save against this thing as it's grabbing you and
Can I
pulling
tell
you in.
she's like?
You will in a, maybe. Let's see whether or not
Yeah.
she.
Well, are
makes a
they
save.
in the doorway
Wisdom-
to the mausoleum right
wisdom?
now?
Yeah.
Wisdom? Yeah.
Wisdom, yes, please, and thank you. Well, down off of an 18. So with your 16, you're able to make your save just barely. The DC was, I'll tell you right now, was exactly a 16.
Well done.
The first time was lower,
high.
but this time it's higher. So you're
Yeah.
staring at this thing, and you're like, "Oh my god, I just need to make my way into it." And so, like, once again, you feeling those cold sweats coming over you, but like watching Ollie before and how the Peck, like what Peck went through scared you, what you just experienced, having no control of your body, everything that had just happened. It's like you're staring at this thing, and you really want to go forward, but as you're going forward, you're no longer seeing the thing that's calling out to you. One thing holds you back. Instead, when you look forward, you're able to conjure up an image. You see Gilly's still body lying there on a stone, cold floor, color draining from her face as volleys of bolts continue to fly at your way. And instead, you turn this desire to go forward into a fear of what is, and you're able to stop yourself from taking that step. Will, do you continue to nudge her?
Right.
So I first say,
Okay,
yeah,
well.
you should go in there. And then, did you reply to that, or did you just start like getting at it?
I probably wouldn't have physically replied, no.
Yeah. So
I probably
I
just would have started to look ill, and then I'll pull
You start-
myself away.
you start looking ill and you pull yourself away, like kind of like afraid.
Mhm.
I just suggested it, and I'll start walking toward you. I mean, you didn't have to.
I'll
If
just
they're
shake
in
my
the
head at you.
doorway, Peck would be like actually walking up now. Like
I would push Peck away from that.
he's not going at that close, but
Yeah.
he would be like moving closer because he could tell.
I'll
What
step
happened?
out of the doorway and I'll.
It's like,
check.
what did you?
I actually don't know
Oh,
where
so
the mausoleum
scary.
is, so but yeah.
Hey, dwarf, do you know how to bring this thing down?
It's over here, Ollie.
What thing? I haven't seen
I
any.
sees it.
This little structure, the gate that's inside of it. We need to destroy it.
Oh, you want to destroy
Solve
this?
the problem.
Oh,
Collapse it.
He's saying no.
What's it made out of?
stone.
So the mausoleum itself is made out of stone. The gates, it looks like it's made out of stone.
It's an evil artifact. We have to destroy it.
It's
So-
an evil artifact.
Mind you, he's
Don't get them
he's
killed.
lawful good, so he wants to keep the artifact and study it and maybe gain power from it.
Yeah.
Hey, I've had a lawful good person do that.
Yeah, that word is not lawful good.
If you study it, then you know how to fight it better.
Yes. I'm sure
You
that's
fight it
exactly
better
what they
by
thought
breaking
in Lord of the
it.
Rings.
And you also have a degree in law.
I'm gonna ask you what you saw, Aaron.
Hmm?
I'm gonna say, what did you see that frightened you? There's
Death.
skeletons. You saw
Death.
death?
Yeah, there's death. It's a
I mean, all
fucking
this-
gateway of death.
All the skeletons are dead.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I'm gonna go
Oh, so you're saying they went through that and that's how they died?
Do
Yeah.
Peck and what's his name? Gore, do you guys make your way over to go investigate the area as well?
I don't go near it. I would tap it. I would make the noise of like something smashing, and I would shake my head. And then I would just tap it again, like
Tap what?
the stone mausoleum, like the
the
side of it, not the
mausoleum.
door.
So you don't even.
I'm like
go...
tapping the stone like
Yeah.
uselessly,
Yeah.
like just over and over to make a point.
Just like don't.
Like it's not actually gonna stop anything knocking a building down. Is what he's trying to say, but it's very hard to communicate.
I'm gonna take a look
He
at
doesn't
that.
even know how to say it.
So we're gonna move Vicar out of the way, so there's enough space
Yep.
for Gore to get in there, and we're gonna put Gore right inside so he can see what it is that's inside there. And it is fucking packed full of skeletons. I mean, this thing is jam packed full of skeletons everywhere.
So does it look like that door is the issue?
Roll me a perception check, please, and thank you.
All right.
You see that they all. So you go there, and how many are left? You go there probably for the last 3 skeletons that go in. You see one of them kind of standing there motionlessly. Another one comes dancing up and dances through. And as soon as he dances through, he goes motionless. And the one in front of him kind of gets up and shuffles off to the side. And then the last one goes and does that same exact thing. What you make a perception check. That's all you're able to notice. Go ahead.
I'm gonna take a look at the door they mentioned, and I don't know if there's any kind of religious or if there are any markings from that I'd know about history or anything like that.
So you want to try doing an investigation now rather than just the perception check that you just did? Because you walked in, you looked around, nothing stood out to you, but you can totally do an investigation if you'd like, which takes time and getting close and blah blah blah.
I don't know how much time I'll spend down here is the issue.
Yeah. It's up to you.
I'm gonna study the door, but try to make sure that I'm out far enough to where if it decides to close, I can just not be in there.
Sure. So you can kind of just like make a dex save to jump out if you want to.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay. So you're in there and you try to stay close to like the actual doorway itself. Let me just kind of like position you in the way that it sounds like you're trying to do. Just kind of like, oh, I'm still here. I'm like barely still inside. You know, I'm barely still inside there.
Pretty much.
So and you're doing that. And that last one again is like holding motionlessly in there, not moving anymore because nothing is coming behind it to trigger it to also go off to the side, right? So that's why there's one now still standing inside the middle. You making an investigation check?
18.
Thank you. So the thing is, to get that 18 investigating, you're going to kind of have to really investigate this thing and check it out. But once again, keep an eye on the door and making sure you're not getting too far from it and all that stuff that we just discussed, right? So you're doing that, and in investigating this thing, you're really spending time reading the runes and trying to understand what they are. Roll for me both a religion and an arcana check, please, Tiv. With your religion check, you immediately can tell that this thing is you're like, I know this somewhere from my reading before. There's God, I remember something about this. Dancing skeletons. Fuck, dancing skeletons. It's from my religious texture. The Totentans. It's the Totentans. You remember that, and you might even say it out loud, like Totentans. Like you remember that word. Dancing skeletons. I know what this is. The Totentans. Like it jumps to you, and you remember that, and like kind of like this is a thing. Like I remember reading about this. This is noted somewhere, and you're looking around, and with your fucking 20 Arcana check, you're moving forward and you're checking it. You're able to see these runes. These runes aren't just any runes. They're magical with so much fucking necrotic power to it. It's a combination of divine and arcane necrotic energies that are holding this thing together. But also looking at it, you can see there's a little bit of transmutation magic holding it together literally. You're a dwarf, okay? You're a fucking dwarf. You can see all the cracks inside the stone without even rolling for it. You can see all the fissures. Clearly, this thing was assembled in this mausoleum. And looking at it and looking at these magics, looking at your 22 Arcana check, you can see that the necromantic energies that are on this thing are old, ancient, and fucking powerful. However, the transmutation magic holding it together, it's very new. Like, very, very new. Like, this thing was just recently put together inside here. But the problem is, you're spending so much time inside here, you have to make me a will save to the power of this thing as you're studying it as long as you are. Wisdom save. Wisdom save.
Goodbye. Nice knowing you guys.
Oh, jeez.
And so you're doing this thing as you're studying it. Do you like? How do you like? Are you kind of like quiet? Are you gruff? Like, how do you like describe to me your character what he's like when he's studying?
He would, since the skeletons have had no reaction the entire time, probably half the time would have been yelling up to them, but I'm not sure if they would actually be listening because half of what he was saying, he would just also be spewing random shit about his god and how nice it is working in a forge. And...
Peck might be invested at this point.
Yeah, maybe.
So Peck's probably like actually behind like the door. He's not looking in, but like like listening.
Gotcha. Roll me a perception check then, Ollie.
Sure.
Yeah. When I actually did figure stuff out, I would be yelling that up if anyone was paying attention.
But it depends how deep the mausoleum is, I guess.
Well, goes a bit loud.
It is not very deep, so he's loud, like he said. It's not very deep. You can get what he's saying. Roll for me an Arcana check, not anywhere near the same DC, just to understand what he's saying.
Yeah, he does.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? We'll go on.
I usually understand what you're saying. Another 13. Unlucky for some. Unlucky for one.
Okay. And your Arcana check, you actually, that's, you less than 10 behind him. You're able to understand exactly what he's calling out, even if you don't understand the true meanings behind everything. You're able to understand what he's calling out enough that you can repeat it and say, ba, 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 right? Moving on. So he's saying all this, but then he's just pulled to it. He feels it calling him. He needs to investigate this thing. He walks through the gate. Sir, could you make for me a Constitution saving throw?
He a skeleton.
His skin gonna come off.
It's a really good con save.
Not good enough.
However, I told you the DC for this thing's
16.
Yeah.
I know.
So you step through, and do you guys all have 3D dice enabled on your things? Like, can you see?
No.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. So I'm dead, right?
No. I didn't say that. I just said, do you have 3D
He's
dice
gonna
enabled?
do an explosion of die for necrotic damage, and that might outright
enable
kill you, even if
3D
it doesn't
dice.
become skeleton instantly.
Yeah, because, you know, he's probably not using the table for the appropriate amount of damage you're meant to use to against a level 1 person. No, absolutely not. That's not even feasibly possible.
I see a lot of 6s.
This is the part where I call the bullshit, remember? It happens every week.
There was 2 1s in there.
So, the amount of necrotic damage that courses through your character's body is fucking insane. You just step through the gate, and you're not dancing, you're not singing, you're not making noise, you're not making music or anything like that. But as you step through the gate, all of a sudden you just feel all of your God's love and everything that's in you get snuffed out. Completely snuffed out. And you stand there for a moment feeling more alone than you've ever felt before. And immediately after that, you feel a crushing feeling coming down on you. Your body is perfectly fine, but you feel from the outside crushing inwards. Every bit of your soul is pushing and pushing and pushing and breaking and pulling inside until, like, effectively every fiber of your being is nothing but condensed to like a slight pea. And then that pea is crumbled to dust and is nothing anymore. And what you see, guys, outside, like witnessing, watching what's happening, he steps into the gate and you're like, but then all of a sudden standing there, you see layer by layer, every bit of him is peeled off of himself. First his flesh is flayed off, then the next layer of muscle, then that, every bit of him until all of it is completely pulled free and just disintegrates into nothing. And then you see standing before you is Gore, but as a skeleton in his armor and everything. And as soon as that happens, he looks up and he looks at the one in front of him, who then turns and looks at the one in front of it, and so on and so on and so on and so on, until every one of them just do a slow and quiet march back to the camp that they came from. A slow and quiet march, making their way all the way back to the camp that they just came from. And with that, we are going to end this week's stream. We're going to end this session. Sorry, Tiff. We're gonna end it. We're gonna end this session. Pulling the party back to where we just were. Let me just drop that over there. So, ending the week, week 2 of Adventure Camp, which actually had no combat. There was no combat in this session whatsoever. It was a lot of investigative work, blah, blah, blah. The dangers were that of whatever this thing is, but no actual combat this time around. Everybody, tell us who you are, how we can find you, etc., etc. We're going to start with our special guest today. Tiv, who are you? How can we find you? Why do we care? Go.
I'm Tivalec. You can find me on Twitter /Tivalec. You can find me on Twitch /Tivalec. I stream randomly on YouTube at the moment. I don't have a special link or anything, but it's still Tivalec, and I do some voiceovers for journals for actually Scott's game.
Which is awesome.
And
appreciated.
Yes, Ollie. Pretty soon I'm going to start doing his
You don't
as
want
well.
to take the girl voice of Caitlin?
I'm not going to do the girl voice. I'm going to do Descendant.
That's Salvina's voice. That's reserved.
What are you talking about?
And yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, there you go. In the words of Tiv, cash me outside. How about that? Ollie, who are you? How can we find you? Why do we care?
I'm Ollie,
Never said-
aka the better DM, the fairer DM. I run my own show on Wednesday that Scott's on, and he's a level 1 character that hasn't died in 3 sessions. Wow, that's crazy. Although someone did. I also do art streams. I do most of the art for this stream, aside from nothing on this actual stream. But when the Eberron show starts again next week, I do all the art for that. And I also do game streams. I do just about everything. Also, you should commission me to get your characters done, because that's what I do, and I like money. And that's about it. Ollie Rant, or Ollie Smith Art, whatever.
Yeah, if
wherever.
you scroll down to the bottom of my Twitch, you'll see the little green star at the end
Green.
of the key. That's Ollie.
boy.
Follow Ollie.
Ollie Rant Green.
Rinson, who are you? Where can we find you? How good does it taste? You're baking.
Pretty good, I would hope. If you want to find recipes, you can go to sinfulbaking.com with 2 N's. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter and here every Friday night. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Will Call Brewing, what does that mean?
Will Call Brewing is the name of my brewery, actually, that I'm hoping to open on the next couple of years, probably 2 years. But you could follow me on Instagram mainly, but I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, all the things, and you could follow my journey to starting that brewery.
Lots of fun. Because of the fact that they chose a blue quest, the rule of this game is if you have 1 experience point equal to your character level, you gain a level to the next level. There are 2 level 2 characters in this session, though both of them gain 2 experience points. Therefore, they are now going to be level 3, which is amazing, considering it was a 2-hour and 45-minute 3-hour and 15-minute session with no combat. That's pretty solid. And then Ollie's character goes to level 2. I do feel bad for Tiv, but Tiv, if you do come back to another session, you will not be able to play Gore again. He is dead. He's a mindless skeleton living a shadow of his former life. But you will be able to come back as a level 2 character that you create because thank you for coming by and hanging out with us. You are special, Tiv. You are special.
Favoritism to the guests. Oh, bullshit. I'm getting paid enough for this.
Can I get some Ollie Grump up in chat?
Oh, we're going to hear about this on his next chat. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling my character is going to be crippled next session.
Yeah, you're not going to die. He's not going to kill you. He's literally just going to make you so you can't walk.
He's gonna make you wish you were dead.
Yeah, well, I am undead. You know, anyways, listen, everybody, it was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. It is so much fun hanging out with everybody. I'm so glad I got to hang out with the first time we got to have a special guest was Tiv. He's been with us since the beginning, so thank you so much, Tiv. I have another list of people that I want to call from to come back and hang out. So, to more Adventure Camp and more D&D. But see you guys later. Bye.
See ya.
Holly, we miss you.